Hey everyone, it's Maddie.
And B, and we're back.
It's been a while since you've seen us in your sub box because we haven't posted anything in 5 months, maybe even 7 months, because who knows how long this video will sit on our computer before we decide to edit it.
We've decided to come back the best way we know how, and that is with a bookshelf reorganisation.
Still haven't read anything though.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So we'll definitely have to chart that because it's going to be a process trying to get back into reading. No longer necessary to ask us how do you read so fast because
We
we
don't.
don't anymore. So we hope you enjoy.
In the past, one of the ways that we have historically gotten more excited about reading is with a good old bookshelf reorganisation. So we thought that was the first thing we needed to do if we wanted to get back into reading, mostly so that we could see our read and unread books. As with the rainbow, everything was sort of mixed in together, so we didn't really have an accurate representation of how many unread books we had on our shelves. Along with reorganising our shelves, we of course had to do a little bit of an unhaul, and I thought we'd gotten rid of all of the books that we wanted to get rid of, but when we took them all off our shelves, because that's the first thing we did, literally got them all out on the floor, held on to each one of them and thought, what does this mean to us? Is it worth keeping, and how is it categorized? We decided to get rid of so many. Majority of them I think are ones we have read, although there are some unread books on here, I'm pretty sure. But I think the majority of it was just stuff that we'd read but that didn't have enough like personal or sentimental value for us to keep.
So the shelves are now separated so much more than they were in the rainbow, because we used to have contemporary on one side and then fantasy on the other, but this time we've divided it even more into little subsets. So on this shelf, I guess we'll just go from the top, we decided to alphabetize them as a way to keep some kind of order to the shelves, and it goes all of our UK YA up until the little shell box, and then all of the US YA that we have, that goes down to here to the Pentagon album. I feel like this is an achievement now. Like I look at this and think,
Yeah.
I have read everything.
All of this,
And
yeah.
that's going to make it so exciting when we've read the books that we haven't read, because then we can add those to these shelves and like get that achievement of putting in among the things we have read already. Then we have these series, they're not alphabetized. I don't think we put any order. Sometimes
No, it's size mostly.
Mostly size, yeah, because US books tend to be a little bit taller than normal, and we've only got a few shelves on our bookcase that will fit the big books. There are two very exciting shelves that we organised in a rainbow because we couldn't completely lose that aesthetic, and that's this shelf down here. And now comes the part of the video where we have to completely destroy this shelf in order to show you everything that we have on there.
The Girl Who Came Out of the Woods by Emily Barr, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, A World Between Us by Lydia Sison, Little Liar by Julia Gray, Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider, This Is What Happy Looks Like by Jennifer E. Smith, Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds, Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer, On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, Dirt by Goldie Moldavsky, Paperweight by Meg Haston, Under a Dancing Star by Laura Wood, The Double Shadow by Sally Gardner, All the Things We Never Said by Yasmin Rahman, Everything Beautiful Is Not Ruined by Danielle Young-Ullman, If Birds Fly Back by Carly Sorosiak, They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, Noah Could Never by Simon James Green, All the Bad Apples by Moira Fowley-Doyle, Oh My Gods by Alexandra Shepherd, The New Boy by Paula Rathsthorne, Rain and Delilah's Midnight Matinee by Jeff Zentner, Last Bus to Everland by Sophie Cameron, Dry by Neil and Jared Schusterman, The Disappearances by Emily Bain Murphy, The Truth About Keeping Secrets by Savannah Brown, The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton, The Boneless Mercies by April Genevieve Tachok, The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed, The Last Summer of the Garrett Girls by Jessica Spotswood, Somewhere Only We Know, and The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu, First and Then, and Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills, Undead Gal Gang by Lily Anderson, The Strange Fascinations of Noah Hypnotic by David Arnold, The Truth Lies Here by Lindsay Klingel, The Quiet at the End of the World by Lauren James, The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, Devoted by Jennifer Matthew, The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord, The Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hess, One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, Alex in Wonderland by Simon James Green, A Throne of Swans by Catherine and Elizabeth Kaur, Coraline by Neil Gaiman, Lightning Chased Me Home by Amber Lee Dodd, Becoming Joe by Sophie Mackenzie, Izzy and Tristan by Shannon Dunlap, and finally Witchborn by Nicholas Bowling. There are some special cases on these shelves which do actually have some of the books that we've read, like Extraordinary Means. This is one that I read back in like 2016, but it's been so long that I really want to reread it, and because it's one B hasn't read and it's almost been so long that it's like a new book to me, we also added it to this shelf. We're classifying it that way.
Like that. Those are the unread books that we all have in common, but then on these shelves are the books that only I haven't read or only B hasn't read. So these are all the books that Maddie has read that I'm yet to read. First is The True Colour of Forever by Carrie Firestone. This was one of her favourite books last year, so I'm eagerly anticipating this one. There are actually quite a lot of 5-star reads on this shelf, so I'm very intimidated, and that's probably why they've been left for so long. Next we have the second and third book in the Super Awkward trilogy by Beth Jarrett. I read the first one in our Read All Day blue shelf edition, so I'll leave that link in the description if you want to watch that. I'm kind of sad that I didn't read them all back to back, so I'm definitely going to try and do that with these two books. Next we have Open Road Summer by Emery Lord. Ages and ages ago, Maddie and I planned to have a bit of an Emery Lordathon, but that got cancelled, and then Maddie read this one anyway. This one will probably end up waiting until the summer though. Next is Easy Prey by Catherine Lowe, and this is a thriller for when I'm in the mood for one of those. Next is Truly Wildly Deeply by Jenny McLaughlin, another one of Maddie's favourites. I love the cover of this, and I have read Jenny's other books, so I don't know why it's taken me this long to read it. Next is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, and this is one that was really popular on BookTube a couple of years ago, and Maddie recently read it. And did you give it 5 stars or 4?
It was like a really, really good read. I think I'd say 4 stars, but maybe it would resonate more with you since you're the fanfic reader.
Yeah. Next is The Museum of Heartbreak by Meg Leder, and we've had this one for ages and ages. It's a nice little short contemporary that I think was quite a surprise addition to Maddie's favourites list, so it will be perfect for like a read in one sitting or read all day thing. Then we have Take a Chance on Me by Beth Jarrett, and this is kind of Mamma Mia-esque. It's like fun, summery, abroad holiday. Maddie really enjoyed it, and I do like Beth Jarrett's writing, so I'm really excited for this one. It's a standalone and it does have BTS references in it, so really pumped for this. Next is Dead Popular by Sue Woolman, my favourite thriller writer ever. I've loved her 3 previous books, so I'm excited to get to this one, and it's set in a boarding school, which is a huge buzzword. I'm sure I'll like it just as much as her others. Next is Only Love Can Break Your Heart by Catherine Webber. I really enjoyed Wing Jones. Catherine's writing is completely gorgeous, so I know I'm going to like it on that standpoint, but I know it's quite a heavy read, and it's a little bit different as well to your classic romance story, as it's a breakup story about like a problematic relationship.
And my favourite book of last year, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so high expectations for your reaction to that one.
Next is The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. Read I'll Give You the Sun when we were on holiday in Germany years and years ago and adored it. It's one of the most beautiful books I've ever read. And this one similarly has like other like poetry related extracts and stuff, so I think it'll be quite pacey. Next is Wild Blue Wonder by Carly Sorosiak, and this is a love triangle or love square between 3 sisters and a boy. Then is The Loose Ends List by Carrie Firestone, the second one from this author on my to reads list, and Maddie really enjoyed this one. It's slightly bigger, it's set on a cruise ship, which is going to be great. Very excited.
I read it in a
for that.
read all day, I think.
Oh, did you?
So if you want to see my thoughts on it, watch that video in the description.
Then we have The End of the World as We Know It by Ivor Marie Palmer. It's an alien invasion with the cast of The Breakfast Club, essentially. Dare to Fall by Estelle Mascom. I love Estelle. I will read everything she writes. I'm so inspired by her writing journey. I have got 1 book left in the Dimmerly series, so I'll probably try and read that before I read this one. Next is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton, and Maddie read this one years and years and years ago and really enjoyed it. I remember it being like a poignant read. It's about generations. It's got some like magical realism, fabulism to it, and I love a good little witchy magical mystery, so I think I will really enjoy this one. Then we have The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. This is probably one of like the first books that I remember you saying was a favourite. I read this when we were at university in our first year. I remember that she cried heavily, so that'll always stay with me.
You have some like really good books.
I know I
on
do.
this list.
I know I do. And lastly is Frankly in Love by David Yoon, which was a recent purchase and a recent release and a recent read for Maddie. So
last book I read 4 months ago.
4 months. Well, 4 months ago, yeah. I know it's like a fake dating plot, so that's all I need really to read anything fake dating.
First is Beware That Girl by Therese Toten. This is kind of Gossip Girl-esque. It's a thriller, and I think one of the girls is captured. It's told from 2 girls' perspectives. B read it quite a while ago because this was an ARC release for us. I don't know why I've put off reading this for so long. Probably because I don't like the font in this book and the
Lol.
spacing. But
That's a
really
pathetic
off-putting.
excuse.
I know it is, I know. So I should definitely get to this one soon. We've got quite a lot of thrillers on this list actually, so we should do
a read
something about that.
it. Yeah, I've been trying to push that one into your hands for literally years.
And there's When We Collided by Emery Lord. This is one of the books I haven't read by her. Maybe we could still do the readathon for Emery Lord because
Yeah, it's been so long as well.
This one is like kind of in the vein of All the Bright Places. I think it came out around that time when it was very like girl has mental health issues, boy has mental health issues, together with their love they'll fix their mental health issues. So not sure how I feel about this one, and I don't think you enjoyed it that much.
No, to be honest, I don't know why we own it physically, but there you go.
I don't know.
There you have
I'm
it.
going in with an open mind because it's been so long since like that was the popular.
Yeah, I think I was quite jaded by the tropes that maybe I felt like it wasn't doing anything, but I love everything she's written otherwise.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So ready to give this one a chance?
Yes.
Oh look, another thriller. It's The Truth About Lies by Tracy Danton. I feel like I put off reading this one because I'd read something really similar at the same time that B read this. So just wait maybe another year and I'll be ready to read it. This is the book I'm probably most excited to read on the TBR. It's After the Fire by Will Hill. This is a cult story. It has a now and then narrative, and B could not put it down when she was reading it the first time. She would talk to me about it, like how engaged she was, so I'm excited to have that same feeling. Next is Signs Point to Yes by Sandy Hall. This is a cutesy sounding contemporary about a girl who babysits and falls in love with the boy she's babysitting's brother.
All I remember is babysitting. Like, I can't remember another bit of plot.
The thing is, babysitting was like my favourite thing because it's so American.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to live vicariously through this. Next is Mosquito Land by David Arnold, and you'll notice that we had a recent David Arnold piece in our other books that we hadn't read, but B read this one a couple of years ago. I think it's her equivalent to The Serpent King, although I don't think it was like as emotionally impactful.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as The Serpent King. Like, to be honest, I'm waiting for you to read it so that I can decide whether we're keeping it or not.
We're keeping it because of this lovely cover and the colour palette of it.
But we haven't got stuff in a rainbow anymore, so I've got no excuse to just keep like greenish books to fill out the thing.
So I'll have to read this one sooner rather than later to decide if it earns its place or not. Then we have Far From the Tree by Robin Benway. I absolutely loved Emmy and Oliver by her, so I'm really excited to read another book. This is all about siblings that are like foster siblings, and like their family stories, the backgrounds.
Like, they're blood siblings, but they've all gone to different foster families, so they're finding each other.
Then we have The Places I've Cried in Public by Holly Bourne. This is a really exciting read for me because it plays into what I've discovered is my new buzzword of breakups in YA books. I love stories where a relationship breaks down and you get to see the character build herself back up again. Next is Phantom Limbs by Paula Garner. This is about swimming, and that's all I know. Next is Out of the Blue by Sophie Cameron, kind of like the angel equivalent of Lorelei by Laura Dockrill, where a family finds an angel and they assimilate her into their society. We had another Sophie Cameron book, so maybe I'll do this as a reading double. Then we have All the Lonely People by David Owen. This was one of Bee's favourite books of last year, and she reads it, I think, in a reading vlog, so if I can find that, I'll put it in the description. One I have like quite high expectations for because of that, and maybe I'm a bit scared of it. It's about your presence on the internet and how that can affect you, so I think this is definitely going to be interesting. Then there's Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Maura Fowley Doyle. This is about witches. It has 2 timelines. Don't really know the story beyond that, but there's definitely a vibe and an atmosphere to this kind of writing.
I can't remember the plot either.
I'll tell you when I get to it.
What vibes and plot? 80% vibes, 20% plot.
Then Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. I really loved Summerbird Blue by her, so I'm excited to see her debut. This is about a girl's relationship with art and her mother. I think there is a romance, is there?
Yeah.
Maybe just lightly, I don't know. I've put this one off because I think it's going to be difficult to read, mostly because when you were reading it you said it was difficult.
Yeah, it harsh.
So I feel like I have to be in a certain mood, and oftentimes when I haven't been in the mood for reading, I don't want to go in with like a deep book. This might be one I have to work my way up to, but I'm still looking forward to it. And then we have Hole in the Middle by Kendra Fortmeyer, another one of Bee's favourites. So
I read a lot of great books last year.
Yeah.
Like,
and
even
yet
if
we hardly documented it.
Yeah, I know.
This one is about like medical anomalies between 2 people that bring them together and make them feel like they're going to be the perfect fit. Then we have It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. This was one of the first books that Bee read at our sixth form library, so it has been in our consciousness for a really long time. We also watched the movie, but I remember it taking us like 4 hours to watch because we kept getting distracted, but that was really good. I would recommend the movie a lot. So I am aware of the story, and I love kind of like clinic, small room, group books. We have a surprising amount on our shelves. I feel like that could be like a niche recommendations video.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see what it's like in written form. The Last Boy and Girl in the World by Siobhan Vivian is the book that scares me the most on this list because I feel like it's Bee's all-time favourite book. It managed to hit all of her buzzword. Did you cry? Probably.
I think so.
A favourite book. And yes, I did read about 3 chapters, got scared and put it down because I really want to be in the mood. I want to have like a really open mind to love this, the same way I did when I was reading Cameron Post last year, because you loved it a lot. I feel like it's going to have like, even though they're like not like similar in any way, I feel like it's going to feel like that when I'm reading it.
It is similar to that book in the way that you feel so connected to the main character.
Yeah. And we have Dumpling by Julie Murphy. Loved the movie, bought the book quickly after, but then realised I should probably wait some time before reading it, just so that then it wasn't like a constant comparison between the two. Then we have No Filter by Ulla Collins. This is about like Instagram, or at least a parody of Instagram and how that affects 2 teenagers' lives. It's dual perspective, it's a romance. I love those kind of things. I'll definitely get around to this one. I feel like this one of the ones that I've had longest on the shelves. When did it come out? Like on this list anyway. Oh, only 2017.
Yeah, no, it's
well,
not
that feels like a decade ago.
2017 is further away than we think.
Yeah. And then finally, another vibe book is We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. This is about a girl who stays at university over Christmas. Someone has recently died. It's another grief book. It's very short, but it's going to pack an emotional punch, and I know that. Another reason why it's on this list. I should separate these into like books that I'm scared to read because of grief. Because that's quite
They're all
few.
heavy, mate.
And
They're all
thriller.
heavy.
Yeah, I haven't got a lot of cute books on there really.
Apart from Science Points to Yes, that's
Yeah,
like the
that's
only one.
So thank you everyone so much for watching.
We will see you in our next video, which we promise won't be in another 4 months' time.
Ending very.
Ending very. We will do a video about K-pop eventually. Bye!